All right, well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today here at Yorktown Town Hall. I want to thank Supervisor Lochterman for hosting us today, joined by a number of elected officials that represent Westchester, Northern Westchester, Putnam County, joined by Putnam County Executive Kevin Byrne, Carmel Town Supervisor Mike Kazari, Putnam Valley Town Supervisor Jackie Anabi, and we also have with us Councilwoman Luciana Howitt of the town of Yorktown. We are here today to call on the Public Service Commission, which is the approving entity for rate cases related to our electric supply and delivery here in the state of New York, to schedule a public hearing about the NYSEG rate increase, a proposed 35% increase in their delivery revenue for electric customers. We want a public hearing in person here in the Hudson Valley. Fact of the matter is, and this is just good government, transparency, and accountability, fact of the matter is that they have scheduled several hearings in Western New York. You can go to the first one, September 30th. But if you're here from the Hudson Valley, you are driving 296 miles to attend. That is wrong. It's unacceptable. And we are here to once again call on the Public Service Commission to hold an in-person public hearing here in the Brewster Division of the NYSEG territory. We have introduced legislation. I have introduced legislation along with Senator Rollison that would clear this whole thing up, because it would require an in-person public hearing whenever a rate increase is being considered by the Public Service Commission. Again, this is good government, transparency, accountability for the fact that we have now a situation where the Public Service Commission is holding public hearings and excluding Hudson Valley ratepayers is, I think, a failure by that entity, and we need it rectified immediately. Yes, there are hybrid meetings that are being proposed and being held, but that's not good enough for ratepayers. Not when you're looking to increase our bills by more than $30 a month. Not when you're trying to make it as easy as possible for people, A, to get this type of information, but B, to also provide their feedback on the proposal so that decision makers can understand what the impact can be. And let's be very clear. New York is facing an affordability crisis. Energy costs are through the roof. The energy costs are fueling that affordability crisis. And now to have a 35% rate hike proposal to be considered without proper public input is wrong, and it needs to be rectified. And so along with my colleagues in government here representing Northern Westchester and Putnam County, not only are we holding this press conference today to raise awareness about this situation, but we also will be sending a letter to the Public Service Commission formally requesting an in-person public hearing. And I would venture to guess that any of the town supervisors standing behind me would be willing to host an in-person public hearing, because guess what? They do it for almost everything they have to make a decision on anyway. So these are the people who do this all the time. They have the facilities to do it. They have the space to do it. And the Public Service Commission needs to make sure that our residents get an opportunity to be heard on this very important matter. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Putnam County Executive Kevin Byrne to say a few words about the importance of this public hearing. County Executive, thank you for being here.
Well, first, let me thank our Assemblyman Matt Slater for highlighting this issue. This really is about transparency and accountability. This is not a new issue or a new challenge that we're facing. It's something that's, quite frankly, somewhat perennial with the utilities and the Public Service Commission. And in the past, we've had to advocate aggressively to bring in-person public hearings because we know they're more effective. When we've had rate cases before, I've written statements objecting to the rate cases and submit them in writing. It's not also unlike the state's draft energy plan. I had to submit it in writing to advocate for other forms of energy generation to make us more energy independent and make energy more affordable. But the only in-person hearing was all the way up in Poughkeepsie. So when you're doing something that's going to pose close to a 35% rate increase, you owe it to your ratepayers. You owe it to the people of New York, the people of the Hudson Valley, to allow and provide for an in-person public hearing. We've done it here in Yorktown before. We've done it in Putnam County at the Emergency Services Center, and we should do it again. So, Matt, thank you for bringing this to everyone's attention, to you and Senator Rollison. We're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, County Executive. And I know that, and I believe it was 2019 when you were on the town board. The Public Service Commission sat right here for a proposed rate hike. And it was actually our work together that brought them down here at the time. And so we've had this exact public hearing right here in this room before. So I don't know, Supervisor, I know that you've been working very hard to make sure that ratepayers know about what the proposal is. I appreciate your partnership on this. I'd like you to say a few words.
Sure, thank you. Yes, we thank you for actually having this some minutes later and for really leading the charge. And we have been putting the information out there as much as possible, but the bottom line is that this affects everyone. And this affects our seniors who may not have the access for online meetings, who may not look at all the different websites and get all this information. And I remember in 2019 when we had the meeting, some were like, well, at least we get to vocalize. They didn't feel like their words were important, but they needed to get it out there. And I encourage them to come. And just like our public meetings in town hall, you encourage them to come because it does mean something. It does have, their voices do have much more meaning as they're in person, as you're looking someone eye to eye, face to face, and having that conversation. Our seniors are on fixed income. Westchester and New York City and this whole area, we have some of the densest population, which means we have probably a higher amount of seniors than most. And these seniors are going to be affected where $30 a month might not seem like a big deal. It is a big deal. And a lot of our senior communities have electric heat, which creates even more money. And then if you look at New York pushing towards more electric, it almost seems like ringing up a piggy bank. I hate to say it, because the more we push down on everything should be electric, and the more those rates come up, we're squeezed. We are between a rock and an anvil and a hammer, and we're just getting crushed on this. And I hear it all the time. I have people talking about $900 utility bills. How do you survive on a fixed income with that, with a cold winter? I think that it's abhorrent that this is even being considered, but even worse to shut the door and say, we don't really care what you have to say. We're not doing anything down there. If you want to prove that it's a public service commission, you need to get down into the Hudson Valley and you need to have these hearings and you need to listen to the people, because we're over 10 times inflation. It's just really it's distressing. And please take this message and get down here and then listen to the voice of the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Greatly appreciated. And he's 100% right. I mean, we also represent, or I represent the town of Somers. I know the county executive in his former role did as well. And when you think about it, I represent 130,000 people, a vast majority of them NYSEG customers. Over in Somers, in places like Heritage Hills, right? Like you were saying before, Supervisor, they have electric heat. And so they are going to see their bills go up in the next couple of months because it's going to start to get colder out. And so that is why they need to be part of this open and transparent process. I know that our friends in Carmel have a great town hall, large enough for a public hearing, large enough for the Public Service Commission to hold a public hearing. So, Mr. Supervisor, thank you for joining us. Would you please come say a few words?
Well, thank you very much for having this event, Assemblyman, and thank you, Supervisor, for letting us all come here. Yes, the town of Carmel Town Hall has been the place where NYSEG has come, and we've had not just the seniors, but pretty much everyone in our community is affected by these rate hikes. So we've had a few meetings where NYSEG sits down with people with their bill and goes through it and tries to help them to navigate this, whether it's on a payment plan or they get other assistance. But what you spoke about, transparency, and you and Ed both, that's what it's about, is the Public Service Commission. There's no need for them to be out in the West when the population of the state is all down here, is what they call downstate. and they call us upstate, but we're not upstate. Yorktown and Carmel is not upstate. So with our population and with our town halls, we easily could hold public service commission, and then people would get their voices heard. Like Ed said, when you send a letter, or like a lot of people working from home with this Zoom, there isn't the same. You don't get the same thing from a letter. You don't get that passion that the people here are feeling and are calling into all of our town halls and your office about they can't afford to pay for their electric bill. So we need it in person, whether it's in the town of Carmel or Yorktown or at the county Tops building. There's ample room. They should just get it done. And thank you for holding this and bringing everybody's attention to the matter.
Absolutely. Thank you, Supervisor. And thank you for reminding me. Yes, we have partnered with NYSEG on those pop-ups.
Yep.
We did one here in Yorktown. We did one in Carmel. And again, I just want to emphasize the fact, and the county executive can confirm this, but a vast majority of Putnam County residents are NYSEG customers.
Oh, overwhelmingly.
Overwhelmingly. And so we are really cutting out an entire county from this process because we are not having an in-person public hearing in the Hudson Valley to deal with this situation. I know that Supervisor Nabi over in the town of Putnam Valley, I've attended her town board meetings where she has held public hearings. So Supervisor, would you like to come over and say a few words about the importance of having a public hearing?
Absolutely, thank you. I want to thank our assemblyman for holding this, our supervisor for having us hosting it here. It is very important, and I invite the public commission to come to Putnam Valley. We have plenty of spots for you to come and hold your meeting here. Our veterans, our seniors, our middle income can't afford this increase. When I'm visiting our seniors at the Putnam Valley Senior Center, the first thing they say is, "What can you do to help me with our bill?"
Right.
They have to choose between medications and keeping their power on. That's not fair. Where can they make this complaint? They don't have access to the computer. They can't get up to Socrates.
Right.
Come on down to Putnam County. It's beautiful here. Come see it. Let us have a voice too. So thank you very much for having us here.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it. I would just end with this. This is really a challenge to the Public Service Commission because this needs to be an open and transparent process. The way that this process is being laid out, and you can see the map in front of me, this is you hiding from the ratepayers who are suffering here in the Hudson Valley. Look someone in the eye and tell them that you're going to increase their bill by 35% a month. I dare you. I dare you. Get down here to the Hudson Valley. We deserve our own public hearing. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt.